Welcome to Cut the Crop, keeping you in the know about everything you grow. Researchers, growers and other interesting folk delivering insights and information on topics ranging from agronomy to profitability. Brought to you by the Foundation for Arable Research.
Hello and welcome to Cut the Crop. I'm your host, Anna Heslop, and today my guest is world famous David Lee Jones, farmer from Marton, and he's a member of the Arable Growth Group, Growers Leading Change Group, based in the Manawatu-Whanganui region. So welcome, David.
Well, thank you, Anna. Probably world famous in my own lunchtime, but that's about it.
Now, apologise everyone. David was supposed to be here in person, but Air New Zealand messed that up a bit. So he's in his car, I think possibly in the airport car park at Palmerston North Airport. But we are here today to talk about the GLC group up there. So maybe, David, you could just tell us a little bit about what you do on farm and how and why you got involved with that group.
Right. Well, we're just a few miles east of Marton by the Rangitikei River in sort of Rangitikei terrace country. We farm just on 210 hectares, of which about half our income comes from cropping and about half from finishing livestock. And we grow predominantly maize, but some sweet corn, barley, a little bit of wheat, and peas for McCain's.
Okay, and so the group was set up focusing around establishing those crops and whether or not conventional versus minimum or no-till was going to be preferable.
Yeah, so once I heard about the Growers Leading Change program, I kind of thought there seems to be some limitations to no-till, min-till crop establishment in the Manawatu, and I keep thinking, well, it's got to be a better way if you're pretty intensive with your cropping. And I had a chat to firstly James Abbas, who he's going down a pretty they've really reduced their tillage and they're doing a lot of no-till now. In a much bigger area than us. And he was interested, and he thought, this could be something that's worth pursuing in the Growers Leading Change program. And we then drafted in David McDonald, who knows heaps of growers. He's the local Pioneer area manager. And so between the three of us, we kind of came up with a bit of an idea to kind of pursue the idea of how we could get no-till in the early spring crop establishment to work a bit better. And between James and David, they had a pretty good list of other growers who'd probably be interested, which was good to tap into.
So the group got up and running. Why is the whole question around no-till and strip-till a bit contentious in your region?
Well, I think it always was, I guess, what I used to hear 10, 15 years ago was, you might be okay planting brassicas at Christmas time, but early season trying to grow cereals was, you're never going to do it, direct drilling. And so that's kind of a bit of a challenge was laid down, really. And I guess it's still the reliability in our area. It's sort of the interaction between the climate and the type of soil types there are predominantly in the area it does make it very difficult to get the soil conditions right in the early spring when you want to establish crops to maximise yield. It makes it really difficult to get the soil conditions right for no-till or strip-till. So that's probably the big handbrake that's held back cereal no-till.
Okay, so as a group, what sorts of activities have you been involved with to investigate and figure out some ways around those problems?
Well, initially, it was mostly around sort of field walks, looking at what people had done in the district regarding no-till maize or strip-till maize or no-till wheat or barley. And we kind of just ran through we'd look at a paddock and try and discuss what the issues were. And the bugs, they play a part, but they play a part and they're a factor in conventionally tilled fields as well. And then so the main sort of project that we got involved with was a tryout on 5 different properties over the region to look at no-till, strip-till, and conventionally planted maize.
Okay, so what did that involve?
So we set up, we thought, well, we really want to give the no-till the best possible chance. So we managed to negotiate with Dave Densley to be able to bring the far no-till maize planter down for a couple of days at the end of October 2022. And we worked on 5 different properties, putting down about sort of half a hectare of each of a no-till plot of maize, a strip-till plot of maize, and then comparing it with what was the conventionally tillage in that paddock. And the strip-till made use of Paul Linklater's PTO-driven strip-till machine that created the strips.
So each of the 5 farms had the same treatments. Were they different soil types, different aspects? How did you choose them?
Yes, we tried to get a spread. So we went from the Wanganui area, which is so up on the road. So Paul McIntosh and Tom, forgotten his name now, but anyway, on that really good soil near Wanganui, which can get quite heavy. Tom Matthews, should I say. And then down in a heavier sort of river silt area in the Turakina, and then over on some Marton country, which was an intergrade between the sort of Kiwitea loam and the Marton silt loam, which is heavier, and then down on our river terraces, which are quite light silt loam. So there was a range of altitudes and soil types.
And what did you find, most importantly?
I guess people got put off for a start because the establishment kind of followed the same pattern as the Waikato no-till establishment trials have found, that generally the no-till plot had a lower plant establishment. Generally the strip-till was slightly better, and generally over the 5 demos, the conventional plot had higher plant counts. So there was a bit of disappointment there initially, but by the time we got through to harvest, really there wasn't much difference between the treatments, essentially over the 5 different tryouts.
So you're talking about difference in yield?
Difference in yield, yes.
And sorry, they were harvested for grain or for
grain?
Yep.
Yes, they were grain.
Okay,
yep, all harvested grain. Yeah.
Okay, so summarising there, plant populations were highest with the full cultivation, conventional, and lowest with the direct drill. But come harvest, yields didn't seem to be impacted that much.
No.
Okay.
No.
So obviously that got people thinking again?
Yeah, and I guess there's a bit of one of the aspects that's now being encountered in the area is we don't really have the machinery that's equipment, the planters out there that are actually specifically equipped for no-till. I know of only one planter that's had some conversions done to it, but that it's limited the area that it can plant. And so I think that's a limitation, is being able to get the right equipment to do the job. And there's still a question about going really early. So some of the growers with big areas, they are very motivated to get planting in October to maximise yield. And if the conditions aren't right in October, they're not going to wait. And that's probably one of the critical factors, is getting the soil conditions better. And usually that's sort of the end of November, early December, and that's too late. So we're sort of in a bit of a hiatus on the maize front. But one of the things, sort of carrying on about what we've learned and where we're going, one of the things that's been really successful about the group is just the WhatsApp group, and just the general communication between the members about what's happening and what people are doing. And one of the things that's popped out of that discussion was with cereal establishment, barley establishment, was the idea of doing a sort of a very minimum till, just a bit of a scratch prior to drilling with a proper no-till drill, whether it's a cross slot or a Allen drill or a Duncan renovator, with a drill that can no-till, but just giving a little bit of a titivate up the soil, the surface, so that the best possible seed to soil contact can be maintained after drilling. And so that seems to be there's something there that's worth pursuing, and the feeling is sort of that perhaps the strip till could be the way to go, to give that minimum tillage for maize, but we probably need the right equipment for drilling for no-till maize establishment to spread further in the district.
Okay, so is that the way the group is going? What happens next?
Well, we're in the throes of trying to work with you, find people at FAR to keep the group going. There seems to be a general consensus to keep the group going and embark on another sort of set of tryouts, looking at sort of radically min-till barley and strip-till maize.
Fabulous. Well, I know, David, this isn't exactly how we planned on doing this, but thank you so much for your time. It's great to hear that group is moving ahead and determined to stay together. I know from talking to you and some of your other members that it's been a success more than agronomically as well, that you've all really appreciated that opportunity to share ideas, bounce ideas off each other, and have a few paddock walks and follow-up conversations.
Yeah, the social aspect shouldn't be underestimated. The ability to have a good yak with other growers, and sharing ideas and just the social contact, especially during, coming out of COVID. I think that's been really good, and I know that the group appreciates that sort of just the general social contact has been great.
Thanks very much, David, for joining us today, and listeners, have a great day on the farm.
Thanks for tuning in to Cut the Crop, presented to you by FAR. If you'd like to know more about any of the topics discussed or have any suggestions for future topics, go to www.cutthecrop.co.nz.